Salutations, this is Dave Degenerate, taking a break from hay fever to be giving you a video on an orange shootout thingy-madoohickey bob. Yeah, basically what I'm going to be doing is I've got a very expensive Orange Rocker 30 amp, which I've already reviewed, and I've got a considerably cheaper Orange Micro Terror, which I haven't reviewed, but I've done a number of videos on, because why not? I have to make videos somehow. And I'm just going to be playing them same riff through them. I will be using a Boss SD1 overdrive pedal to boost the signal in both of them. I will be using a really expensive, well no, not really expensive, a mid-priced guitar and a really stupidly cheap guitar. Now the cheapest guitar I own is a 7-string and the mid-priced one is a 6-string. They're in different tunings, they will be in different keys. We're going to play the same riff, it will just be a quick riff. I'm going to try using both guitars through both amps and we're going to see. So a little rundown, the mid-price guitar I'll be using is a Chapman ML-1. The really stupidly cheap guitar is a Gear for Music's own brand Denver 7-string. Those things retail at about 115 quid. Chapman ML-1 is about £400. The Orange Rocker 30 is about £800. The Micro Terror is £100, that's going into a 115 watt cab. The SD1 overdrive is £40. You can tell I'm doing this by memory because I seem to be really good at that because I'm running everything off the top of my head and I'm rambling like an idiot like I always do. Anyway, we'll get down to that. Yes, so one rig is going to be about £1,240 if you put all the expensive stuff together. You put the cheap stuff together, it's going to be about £360. Throwing all that together. So this is partly a demonstration of what you can achieve with budget gear, and it's also partly experiment because I don't really know how this is going to turn out. So I just thought this up while I was in the shower a second ago. I'm pointing because that's the shower right there. And let's do it. Okay, so the first thing you're going to be hearing will be the Chapman ML-1 into the Orange Rocker 30. So this is the more expensive stuff you'll be hearing. Let's do it. Right, now what you're going to be hearing is the Gear for Music Denver 7-string, remember that on top of my head, into the Orange Rocker 30. Now, what you're going to be hearing is the same Gear for Music Denver 7-string, but this time it's going to be going into an Orange Micro Terror with a Blackstar HT 1x12 cab. finally you are going to be hearing the, if memory does serve me correctly, the Chapman ML-1 into the amp that I've just been using, the orange one. The little one, the little Micro Tera hybrid amp. Well, so that's all the demonstrations done. The orange Micro Tera is actually a hybrid amp with a valve in it, but it's primarily a solid state circuitry in there. The Rocker 30 is all valve. Now the Micro Tera is easy loud enough to gig with. That is because the valve boosts it, so even though it's only 20 watts, it's kind of got the same sort of wattage that you would get out of a 20 watt valve amp. The fact that it's solid state does mean that its volume is more consistent, the tone is more consistent. You do get that warmer sound from the valve in the preamp section, but it doesn't have the same sort of tone that a valve to it has. It is a lot cheaper, a lot lighter, it's also a lot smaller. The Rocker 30, although it is heavier and more cumbersome, it does actually have a much warmer sound to it. I find you get more gain out of the Micro Tera than you do out of the Rocker 30. You can't see what I'm pointing at, but I'm actually pointing at the amps. They're over there. This is where they are. Yeah, getting more gain does depend what kind of style of music you play, what kind of stuff you want, but it does mean that you could be buried into the mix. You get a much clearer tone out of something all valve, I find, even though that's probably not the intention of it. But you can make your own opinions up, and you can feel free to rant and flame me in the comment section if you want, because any publicity is bad publicity, as I'm always one to say. What do you think? I don't really know why I'm asking you this, because you're not in the room with me right now, and by the time I post this online, it's probably going to be long enough ago that I don't really care. So I'm going to go back to all this lovely hay fever with my tears streaming eyes and all that kind of stuff, and let you guys get on with your lives too. See you later.